Hello, fellow class members of MLS 5331 and Dr. Aguirre. My name is Kelechi Madubuko. Great to meet all of you in this platform. Uh, as we have been discussing in class throughout the semester, short summer, I am going to be talking about today about leadership and communication and how decision making drives everything that most leaders do in their walk of life. We have all discussed in great length our opinions and right on each other's critique or agreed on what that individual wrote. Still a learning process. Now, through this presentation, I am going to present to you how affect and decision making goes a long way in making you a better leader. I'm going to present this article written by Dr. Lisa Stickney in a featured article in Decision Line of May 2009. I found this article as part of our human experience, as decisions are part of our everyday life, ranging from what we eat for dinner to how we respond to someone's neat remarks to us. We all have choices or face choices, whether big, small, every day. So how do you decide? What goes into pushing you to either reply to that individual or what was said or what needs to be done? What drives you to choose a particular option that you have narrowed down that this is the way I'm going to take care of this business? Before I jump into my topic, here is something to consider. If I was to ask by show of hands, how many have made decision in their life? Most likely, I'll be chased out of the class. I hope you will agree with me that your action to chase me out of the class is born out of your decision to do so. So we make decisions almost in every minute of our 24-hour day. We make decisions to, most of you will make the decision to either watch my movie, my video, or not. Either way, whatever decision we make has a consequence. Either good, bad, indifference, there is a result that our decision making process brings forth. So, what is affect? How does this have a role to play in our conversation? I did check my own abridged Webster dictionary, and it has a whole lot of meaning or words that can be attributed to affect. It says to influence, to exert influence, change, alter, modify, transform, form, shape, control, govern, determine, describe, guide, or sway, and there are biases. Sometimes most of our decisions making is not born out of a necessity or because there's no other way to go, just because we might have something that have happened to us in the past and that becomes our bias, and sometimes we lean on that to draw a conclusion based on what we're going to present to somebody. Now when we apply affect in decision-making process, Dr. Stickney suggests that organizations are not bastions of reason, So when you think your corporation or your leader has made a good decision, it doesn't mean that they have been trained to make the best decisions. Sometimes they do make bad decisions. She said rather, organizations are emotional arenas, and the idea that organizations are rational places is a myth when it comes to decision-making process. One good example would be one of the issues that have been on the news lately, Boeing, to fly their newest aircraft. Somebody made that decision. Somebody made, I don't want to accuse them, but somebody decided it would be a good product to sell. But after two accidents that killed a lot of people, I think somebody's rethinking their decision to go forward. So when things go well, it seems like the decision makers are God sent. When things go wrong, we throw the book at them and condemn them for whatever outcome their decision has brought about. So this goes to show that there are biases that goes on decision-making process everywhere, and organizations are not exception. Just like you can decide to spank your child and you know that child is going to cry and it's gonna sometimes emotionally get to you. You want him to stop, he or she to stop crying, but you have to do what you had to do. The same way if organizations or corporations make decisions and they go out and make millions, stakeholders clap, they made good investments, they made good decisions to invest in that company. That if that product goes belly up, nobody buys it, then it becomes an issue that that organization has to deal with at the same time while protecting the interest of their stakeholders. Dr. Stickney also made one interesting observation in her research. She said that there's something called neurobiological research. So it demonstrates that affect is an essential component of rational decision making. She also pointed out that cognition is not logical, as we once thought, and emotions are always so illogical. So there is two arguments here. And if you've been in the army for a couple of days, you will see sometimes there are some leaders because they don't want to deal with both sides of this argument that I'm talking about, emotion and cognition, that they might shut down a meeting going on because either somebody shows over emotion or somebody, quote unquote, we don't think belongs in the same room with us because they are not making sense. But that's their understanding of what is being presented to them. So we cannot throw them out like dirty water to say we have no use for them. As a leader, you have to find a way to incorporate everybody and do what is called filtering. That means pick what is important to you in that decision-making process and leave the rest to fall by the wayside. We can't satisfy everybody, and at the same time, we can't slow down business, all because we have to bring everybody into a kumbaya room. I think emotion is part of passion that drives some human beings to care and even go up to the level of advocacy. And when you have decided to go that, I'm not saying that everybody that is an advocate makes a rational decision, but a whole lot goes into what they bring to the table in order to advocate for a particular cause or to help them get the decision that needs to be made. It also an issue, on the issue of cognition, it also drives anger. And sometimes folks, when their cognition is talked about, think that they are being down upon. Some people might take it as an insult when you talk about their cognition and how they handle issues. It's not. It's part of that accommodation that you have to give everybody that have come to work for you. Stickney made a great point. He said, for leaders to glean from the affect, from affect, they have to consider it as a generic label decision making. There are two issues that she described. One is moods, which she considers to be a low intensity, relatively enduring feeling, while emotions are most intense, short lived. Both processes are relevant to decision making process in an organizational context, and they help to influence judgment and how we arrive at our decisions. So for a leader, our state of mind is very essential when we consider decision, given the fact that moods are very low intensity. So it might simmer till the following day. It might not go away right away. As a leader, or if somebody was making a decision on your behalf, do you think that's the right time for them to make such a decision? I don't think so. So you have to be in your best rational mind to make a decision that has weight and that might live the test of time. So making such decisions should not be done when a leader is not feeling well, is agitated, or the particular issue or person that the decision has to be made for or upon, he or she has bias against that individual or that thing. Dr. Stickney also contends that, noting that contrary to many belief, a specific emotion, anger, does not necessarily override people's ability to make decisions. But how do we know that? I think you have to be a well-seasoned leader to be able to get to that frame of mind. It's not somebody that got hired today should come in and make decisions without knowing the full background of what is going on in the company. Organizational members, which she continues to say, failure to act invokes strong, effective response in other organizational members. So when people find out what went on behind the decision maker's mind, that she doesn't like a particular person or a particular set of workers because of what they do or what they didn't do, Dr. Stickney is making the argument that this goes to affect everybody in the company. Everybody becomes a little bit agitated. It could be their decision point tomorrow. Is the person going to be rational or irrational in making their decision? Is it going to carry a whole lot of weight when it comes to their anger or frustration about that particular individual? So as a leader, you can see we have a whole lot to deal with when it comes to us making decision, whether for people below us, beside us, or even given the maybe in regards to the particular project that is at hand. So one person's decision making process can have a whole lot of outcome with their decision making process. Like I said earlier on, we as leaders, communication is not made are not made in the vacuum. It's a well thought out, well deliberated process that we use in coming to a formulated decision. So as a leader, this should be at the back of your mind going forward, not to make quick decisions. If need be, if the item or the project can stay till 24-hour cycle, you can make your decision going forward. I think most people or most of your workers will be happy. So in conclusion, I am going to use Dr. Stickney's quote, which I think is a fundamental argument when it comes to making decisions. He said intellect is to emotion as clothes is to our body. We could not very well have civilized life without clothes, but we will be in poor way if we had only clothes without bodies. As human goes, so does emotion come. Thank you for watching. Learned a lot in this class. Equipping my toolbox of life with one more tool to use down the road. Thank you.